Hello everybody, I am Humaira, Zoology Department from JT Arts, Science and Commerce College for Women, Malegaon, Nasik. My topic is hormones of pituitary gland. As you know, pituitary gland is also known as master gland of all endocrine glands because it regulates all the function of all endocrine glands, hence it is known as master gland. So the pituitary gland itself secretes 9 different hormones. All are peptide hormones that bind to membrane receptors and use cyclic AMP as a second messenger. The pituitary gland is oval P-shaped in structure, one in having two lobes, one in neural tissues and other glandular. That means two lobes are there. One lobe consists of nervous tissues and other lobe is made by the help of the glandular epithelial cells. The posterior lobe is composed of pituitary and nerve fibers. It releases neurohormones that it receives ready-made from the hypothalamus. That means neurohypophysis is not responsible for formation and secretion of any type of hormone. It only stored or received and conveyed to the target organ. The next lobe of the pituitary gland is nothing but the anterior lobe or adenohypophysis. It is composed of glandular tissues and helpful to manufacture and release a number of hormones. So major part of the pituitary gland is nothing but the adenohypophysis, by the help of which the 7 hormones are manufactured and released and helpful for maintaining the body activities. Here, in the middle portion, pituitary gland is there, which consists of two lobes, one dark lobe, another one is light colored lobe. The darker lobe is nothing but the adenohypophysis and the lighter colored region is neurohypophysis. From adenohypophysis, different hormones are released, which are nothing but the thyroid stimulating hormone. The thyroid stimulating hormone itself is helpful for normal functioning, development and secretory activity of the thyroid gland. The hypothalamus produces thyroid releasing hormone. In the rising blood level of thyroid hormone acts on both pituitary and hypothalamus to inhibit thyroid stimulating secretion. So in such a way, thyroid stimulating hormone is released by the anterior part of pituitary and it itself helpful for its inhibition. The next hormone secreted from the anterior pituitary is known as adrenocorticotropic hormone. It is denoted by ACTH. The adrenocorticotropic hormone is secreted by corticotropic cells of the adenohypophysis. The ACTH release elicited by hypothalamic corticotropic releasing hormone, rising level of glucocorticoids feedback and block secretion of adrenocorticotropic hormone. This hormone is helpful the stimulation of adrenal cortex to release glucocorticoid hormone, which is helpful in glucose metabolism. The third type of hormone secreted by anterior pituitary gland is nothing but the gonadotropin hormone. The gonadotropin and luteinizing hormone. These both are follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone, both are known as gonadotropins. These hormones collectively acts as gonadotropin regulation, helpful for the proper functioning of gonads, in which follicle stimulating hormone promotes egg development in women and stimulates the secretion of estrogen hormone produced by ovarian cells. In men, follicle stimulating hormone production supports sperm production in the testes. The luteinizing hormone helpful ovulation in women and promotes the ovarian secretion of estrogen and progesterone that prepare the body for possible pregnancy. In case of men, the luteinizing hormone helpful for the stimulation of the interstitial cells of testes to produce sex hormones. So in such a way, these two hormones are helpful for active functioning of the reproductive organs. The next hormone secreted by anterior pituitary gland is nothing but the prolactin. It is a protein hormone similar to growth hormone. It stimulates the development of mammary glands and production of milk. The second hormone or next one is nothing but the growth hormone. It is also called human growth hormone. It is helpful for the stimulation of cell growth and replication by accelerating the rate of protein synthesis. The growth hormone involves two different mechanisms. The primary mechanism, which is indirect, in which liver cells respond to the presence of growth hormone by synthesizing and releasing the insulin-like growth hormone that bind receptor site on the variety of cell membrane. The direct action of growth hormone do not appear until after blood glucose and amino acid concentrations have returned to normal level. The last hormone secreted by the anterior pituitary gland is nothing but the melanocyte stimulating hormone. It stimulates the melanocytes of the skin, increasing their production of melanin. Melanocyte stimulating hormone is important in the control of skin and hair pigmentation in case of fishes, amphibians, reptiles, and many mammals. The melanocyte stimulating hormone is secreted by human pituitary during fetal development, in very young children, during pregnant women, and in some disease state. So in such a way, these hormones is secreted by anterior pituitary gland, anterior part of pituitary gland. The posterior region of pituitary gland is nothing but the neurohypophysis. It is helpful for the secretion of two hormones. The posterior pituitary gland contains axons from two different groups of hypothalamic neurons. One group manufacture antidiuretic hormone and other helpful for the formation of oxytocin. Both groups are located within the hypothalamus. The antidiuretic hormone is helpful diuresis in urine production. It is a substance that inhibits or prevents urine formation. It is released in response to stimuli such as rise in the concentration of electrolytes in the blood or fall in blood volume or pressure. The primary function of antidiuretic hormone is to decrease the amount of water lost at the kidneys with losses minimized. Any water absorbed from the digestive tract will be retained, reducing the concentration of electrolytes. Antidiuretic hormone also cause the constriction of peripheral blood vessels, which help to increase blood pressure. The antidiuretic hormone is liberated into the blood by the neurohypophysis and targets the kidney tubules. The tubules are respond by reabsorbing more water from the urine and returning it to the bloodstream. As a result, less urine is produced and blood volume increases. As solute concentration decline, the osmoreceptors stop depolarizing effectively, ending antidiuretic hormone release. The antidiuretic hormone release is also inhibited by drinking excess amount of water. The next hormone secreted by the posterior region of pituitary gland is nothing but the oxytocin. It is a strong stimulant of uterine contraction, released in significantly higher amount during childbirth and in nursing women. The number of oxytocin receptors in the uterus peaks near the end of pregnancy, and uterine smooth muscle becomes more and more sensitive to the stimulatory effects of oxytocin. As blood level of oxytocin rise, the contraction of labor gain momentum and finally end in birth. Oxytocin also acts as the hormonal trigger for milk injection in women whose breasts are actively producing milk in response to prolactin. Suckling causes a reflex initiated release of oxytocin, which targets specialized myoepithelial cells surrounding the milk producing glands. So, in such a way, both the hormones of the anterior and posterior pituitary gland helpful for maintaining the proper functioning of other endocrine glands and body activity. So I conclude myself here. Thank you. Thank you very much.